Good morning.
It is.
I have lots of questions. I don't know how to focus in on specifically what it is, other than I guess I have to find a word, or like trust or faith or something like that that helps me to.
Blah, 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 blah. Trust or faith, blah, 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 blah. But what about this? What about this? What about this escrow? What about it? In other words, can you talk about it in the way we're talking about it? Can you feel the way you're beginning to feel? And is not that trust or faith there? In other words,
it is, but then it's easy to get sidetracked from it.
Well, you just...
So it's not,
we get that, but you gotta let it not be so easy to get sidetracked. What you're saying right here is the work, and that's why we want to be so bold as to say, Law of Attraction's response to what's in your vibrational escrow is everything. And Law of Attraction's response to what's going on in your day-to-day experience is paltry by comparison.
Right, and I know that my escrow has been growing since I've learned about Abraham and kind of understanding it. The more I understand it, the bigger my escrow is getting. And so when I get sidetracked, I'm hitting that tree at 100 miles an hour.
Yeah, good. Hurts, doesn't it? So pay attention. Watch where you're going. Don't let yourself get sucked into those negative thoughts. You run into a few of them, and pretty soon you'll take more careful aim at the way you point your mind. While Jerry and Esther were in Europe, they got word from the office that Lovable Cat had made her transition into non-physical. Oh, you're still not over that death thing, are you? Well, she's romping around with us and turning the lights on in Jerry and Esther's cabin and so forth. So she's alive and weller. But in hearing about it, it was such a painful thought for Esther that she had to exercise mind control. And she said, gee, what a concept. Mind control. When I think this thought, I feel terrible. And when I don't think that thought, I feel better. And I can't not think that thought without thinking another thought. And Esther had great motivation. They were on a tour. She wanted to be tuned in, tapped in, turned on. She did not have time to wallow in her sorrow or to disconnect herself over something that was already done. So mind control was the only answer. And we say, we just love it when you get yourself in a place where you finally acknowledge that this thought is so painful, I will not think it. And I will coax myself bit by bit into a thought that is not only not painful, but a thought that is joyful. And in the moment, Esther worked on it for 2 or 3 days. She and Jerry didn't talk about it at all because neither one of them were sure how sensitive the other one was about it. And so they didn't talk about it, but very fleetingly, and Esther worked on it every night as she went to bed, lying on the ship, and every morning when she first woke up. And at the moment that she found her alignment about it, the lights in the cabin came on, in a dark cabin. And Esther thought, I've always known that Elsie is consciousness, just like the rest of us. I've always known that she is an eternal liver of life, just like the rest of us. But nothing like coming into alignment with a powerful desire in order to have it demonstrated in some way in the moment, you see. So we mean to be hard on you in the sense that you just can't be sloppy in your thinking and get to where you want to go. You just can't be. But we want to emphasize that this is so huge that we just want you to begin telling a new story. It's not hard to think about what I want to think of because this vibrational vortex is so big and everything that I want's there, and Law of Attraction's working on it, and all the resources are there, and things are always working out for me, and things are getting better and better, and I'm getting better and better at this. And there's no harm in thinking a negative thought, because all that happens is I feel the discord of that thought in its relationship to who I really am and what I really want. And this is not a big deal, and it's not hard to be a deliberate creator. And I'm so glad that I am now knowledgeable enough to be a deliberate creator. And I love contrast because it puts more stuff in my vibrational escrow. And I love my guidance system that lets me know where I am in vibrational proximity to what's going on in my vibrational escrow. And I love being a deliberate creator, and I love knowing that it's all vibrational, and I love knowing that my guidance lets me know how I'm doing. And I like seeing my progress, and I know that I'm doing doing better and better. And I know that there's nothing that could be so bad that it wouldn't give me some advantage. And I'm starting to look more for the advantages. And what is doesn't mean diddly squat anyway, because what is so temporary. What is changing, changes. As my thoughts are changing. And if I haven't been seeing much change in my life, it's only because my thoughts are changing, but they're changing to more of the same because I haven't been letting my thoughts move toward where I want to be. But now I can feel the bigness of this vortex, and I can feel the bigness of who I've become. And I'm not willing to just wallow in the old usual thoughts. I'm setting higher standards for myself, higher, better feeling thought standards for myself. Not because I need to create those things in order to be joyful, but because I can't beat the drum of the opposite of what I've already become and be joyful. You know, as we talk about creating and the things that you want, like more money or empires or lovers or whatever it is, as we talk about these things that you want and we talk about them being over there in that vibrational escrow, we want to say it in a newer, clearer way. It isn't the denying yourself of those things and creations that is making you feel uncomfortable. It is the not letting yourself be the you that you are. You are the creation. You are what is becoming. It's not the house. It's not the money. It's the you that is becoming, you see. And so you are as full as you let yourself be in the moment. It does not matter how much stuff you've piled up. When you find a thought that lets you close that gap, when you close that gap, you now vibrationally, wholly, from the physical standpoint and from the non-physical standpoint, you wholly, altogetherly, you wholly own what's in your vibrational escrow. And do you know what the main product in your vibrational escrow is? You. Now you're the lover. Now you're the prosperous one. Now you're the healthy one. Now you're the clear-minded one. You're the more than trusting, knowing one. You see what we're getting at?
Yep.
All the stuff you want is just your excuse to point that away.
Right. Yep.
Good.
Thank you. Thank you, Jerry. Thank you, Esther.